A very good morning to all of you. Welcome back to economics class. As we were doing chapter number 1, microeconomics introduction, today we are going to begin up with part 4 of the continued chapter. Students, in the previous class, we discussed about production possibility curve. In today's class, we'll be completing, or rather, we will be only discussing about production possibility curve. Production possibility curve, that is also known as PPC, refers to graphical representation of possible combination of two goods that can be produced with given resources and technology. Students, just to tell you well in advance, our economics is completely hypothetical. So this production possibility curve is also based on some hypothesis. Other names for this production possibility curve are transformation curve, production possibility, frontier. Basically, over here, we are presuming that in an economy, we are only going to produce two goods or two commodities, and this PPC shows, this production possibility curve shows all the possible combinations that can be produced by that two goods. However, there are few assumptions when we are going to study about PPC. That is, there should be given resources and technology, and what that given resources should be, that given resources should be fixed and technology should remain unchanged. Moving on to assumptions of PPC. Amount of resources in the economy is fixed. As I told you in the previous slide, that we are going to presume or assume that amount of resources in the economy is fixed. For example, if we are going to have land as well as labor. Now, over here we are presuming that land and labor, quantity of land or the quantity of labor is completely fixed. We cannot add upon, we cannot increase that quantity. With the help of given resources, only two goods can be produced. In an economy, only two goods can be produced. This has been assumed while preparing PPC. The technology is given and unchanged. It is constant technology. There is no updation of technology. Resources are efficiently and fully employed. Basically, we mean to say no land is remaining idle, no labor is lying idle, and no capital is even lying idle. So all the resources which we are using for the production of two goods are completely efficiently fully employed. We are utilizing them in the best manner. No resource is equally efficient in production of all goods. So when resources are transferred from production of one good to another, the productivity decreases. Now, what do we mean by this statement? This statement says that if a farmer is efficient in production of wheat, so he should be completely engaged in the production of wheat. He should not be put up to produce rice. So we should not transfer from production of one good to another. Why? Because the productivity decreases. Moving on. Now we are having hypothetical production possibilities scheduled. Since over here only two goods have been talked about, so we are going to presume good X which will be plotted on X axis, good Y which will be plotted on Y axis. Now combination A says if we are producing 10 units of good Y, it indicates no unit of good X has been produced. In the similar way, we are assuming combination E. Combination E says if 4 units of good X are produced, it means 0 units of good Y are produced. It indicates clearly that A is completely, A combination clearly indicates that good X will be 0, and E combination clearly indicates that good Y will be 0. In the similar way, we are having, if we want to produce 1 unit of good X, we need to sacrifice 1 unit of good Y. Reason being, we are only having limited resources. Plus technology remains unchanged. This means our productivity cannot increase further. Now possibility combination C, which says if you want to increase one more of good X, we need to sacrifice two good units of good Y now. D says if we want to produce one more unit of good X, which means again we are going to sacrifice 3 units of good Y. So to produce any good further, we need to sacrifice the other good. That is the combination possibilities on production possibility curve. For example, if you can see over here, quantity of guns produced has been plotted on y-axis and quantity of butter produced has been plotted on x-axis. Now the combination which is on complete x-axis, that is beyond C, it indicates that complete butter production is there and no gun has been produced. That is the point touching the x-axis. In the similar way, the point touching the y-axis indicates that quantity of guns produced till this point, however, butter remains 0. And BDC completely indicates the various possible combinations of producing guns and butter in combo. Now, what do this point A and X indicate? Students, just to tell you that since we are presuming account business studies, economics is completely hypothetical. So we need to understand that whatever we are presuming over here is completely based on few hypotheses. So over here we are presuming all the resources remain unchanged as well as they are fixed. This means we cannot deploy more of labor, we cannot deploy more of land over here. So this BDC clearly indicates all the resources are completely and efficiently utilized. However, point A indicates that few resource is not being completely utilized, or basically it is considered as where resources are not efficiently utilized. And in the similar way, point X indicates overutilization of your resources. So point A, you can talk about underutilization of resources, and point X, you can say overutilization of resources. Attainable and unattainable combinations. Attainable combinations, it refers to those combinations at which economy can operate. The two attainable options are: if there is optimum utilization of resources, then economy will operate at any point. That is like A, B, C, D. If there is wastage or inefficient utilization of resources, then economy will operate at any point inside PPC. And unattainable combination indicates any point outside PPC where economy can never operate. Moving on, properties of PPC. PPC slopes downward from left to right. It is so because to produce one or more of one good, the society has to sacrifice some quantity of the other good. The reason is that resources are limited. And the second property of PPC indicates it is concave to the origin. Now concave, the PPC is concave because of increasing MRT. MRT, what is MRT? MRT is marginal rate of transformation. MRT increases continuously as more and more of one good will be produced only by reducing the quantity of other good. Also, MRT increases because no resource is equally efficient in the production of both goods. Marginal opportunity cost, as we discussed about the opportunity cost in the previous class, just to tell you, this MRT and MOC concept are exactly same. It refers to the number of units of a commodity sacrificed to gain one additional unit of another commodity. In case of PPC or PPF, MOC is always increasing. That is, in case of PPC, MOC is always increasing. This we are going to discuss today. Students, marginal rate of transformation. It can be defined as ratio of number of units of a good sacrificed to produce one additional unit of another good in two goods economy, where we are only expecting or we are presuming we are only going to produce two goods. Example, if the production of two goods of Y is sacrificed to obtain production of one more unit of X, then MRT is equal to 2Y is to 1x. Basically, delta y upon delta x, that is change in the unit of y divided by change in the unit of x, gives you MRT. MRT indicates the slope of PPC. As you can see over here in the possible schedule given over here, combination A, B, C, D, E, good X 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, good Y 10, 9, 7, 4, 0. Now we are going to calculate MRT for this. If we want to produce 1 unit of X, we have to sacrifice 1 unit of Y. Ratio 1:1. If we want to produce 1 unit of X, now here we are sacrificing 2 units of Y, indicating 2 units of y divided by 1 unit of x, which again gives you 2:1 as your ratio. Next, one more unit of good x to be produced, and here we have to sacrifice 3 units of good y. How? 7 minus 4 gives you 3. So for point D, MRT will be 3:1, that is 3y is to 1 of x. Fourth, for combination E, it indicates if we want to produce 1 more unit of good X, we are sacrificing 4 units of good Y. 4 minus 0, 4. This means 4y is to 1x. Point of consideration over here is we are only going to consider the change that is delta y upon delta x, change in unit of good y divided by change in unit of good x. For possible combination A, we are not having any MRT. Reason being, there is no combination up to that. That's why we are not having any MRT for that combination. Now we are going to consider two cases for this MRT. If MRT is not increasing, MRT is constant, or MRT is falling. These are the two cases. We are presuming MRT will always increase, but if in case it is not increasing, then the case says MRT is constant, and how it will be constant, MRT is falling, how it should be falling. MRT is constant, it's a case. If MRT is constant, it means that same amount of commodity is sacrificed to gain an additional unit of another commodity. It means that all resources are equally efficient in production of both the goods. In this case, PPF will be a straight line. See over here, combinations, good X, good Y. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, good Y combination changes to 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0. 2 units of good X is being sacrificed. 2 units of good Y is being sacrificed to gain 1 unit of good X in each and every case, indicating constant MRT. This will give you MRT as constant in shape, which is a straight line touching x-axis and y-axis. Here PPC will not be concave shaped. Alright students, ending this class for the day. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Stay safe. Stay home.